one of the things we were just talking a little bit about, we're sort of kidding about, the aggressive chiropractors out there, but there's sort of there's a whole nother demographic of people who are involved in these car accidents that, for a long time has sort of gone really misunderstood. And in that sense, I'm really talking about people who've got, a closed head injury. They may have hit their head on something. They may have snapped their neck very quickly. They may, really not have a full understanding of what went on after an accident. Maybe they never really lost consciousness, but they're dizzy. They start, feeling a lot differently after an accident than they were before. With this particular group, and I think it's fairly universally accepted that they had some type of closed head injury. What do how do you handle these cases in terms of these, relatively minor closed head injuries, or sometimes in the case of a more significant closed head injury? How do you convey the significance of that to the decision makers, either at the insurance company or to the lawyers who are defending the case?
Well, Jonathan, it's you can have a concussion is what you're talking about, and then a concussion is a brain injury, and if it's not life-threatening, unfortunately, it's given the misnomer, the misname, mild traumatic brain injury. And it's really not mild. Weeks or months after the accident, even though the person did not have a brain bleed on a CAT scan, but they did lose maybe consciousness for a little bit. Maybe they don't remember all the facts of the accident. Even if they didn't hit their head that they can remember, it's just a jerking back and forth that causes the brain to hit the skull, can cause a brain injury that, instruments can't see, but that we know, and the research that's been coming out tells us that even with one concussion, you can have significant issues, memory problems, headaches, dizziness that last a long time, and people really have a difficult time getting the proper care sometimes, especially if they've been in a car accident, because there's still that cynicism that, oh, you really didn't have anything on MRI, this is a soft tissue injury, really a neck problem, but it's a concussion problem, and hopefully they've got a great family physician or an orthopedic physician that sends them to a neurologist. But the neurologist, Jonathan, as you know, is really going to look at gross things, and 99% of the time his examination is going to be normal, but the person still has these symptoms. So the real expert in this area is the neuropsychologist, the people that are not MDs, that are psychologists, that give all these tests. And I'm learning more and more about it because as we speak, I'm looking at neuropsychologists that the family member is saying this person has not had problems with their memory, and the neuropsychologist says, yeah, there's some findings here, but they really can't be related to a concussion because it was just one concussion and it was mild and there wasn't anything wrong. Well, they're not up on the latest research, unfortunately, so that's where you try to, I don't like to suggest to my clients what doctors to go to, because again, there's a built-in, well, the attorney told you to go there, but you know what? We have a duty to try to help our clients get better and maximize their compensation. And if we know of those neuropsychologists that are highly credentialed, that are up on the research, and that are not jaded by this was a car accident, we'll call it as it is, that the client, which seems obvious to me that it's related, will get a fair shake. And that's not to say that they're going to find it's always related or find that you have a deficit, but at least they're going to get a fair chance and an unbiased view, and it's really the neuropsychologist that you have to go to when you have those subtle problems and no real objective things that you can look at on X-ray. They're developing new tests all the time, but you know, now, Jonathan, just here in Cincinnati, the hospitals are taking over a lot of the medical care, buying the medical practices, and they are being bought by insurance. So you've got all this, you know, things to sort of conspire against a person that's injured, especially that's in a car accident. So, you know, again, if they can get a great doctor to help them, and if we can help them find a great doctor, and if they can get a great lawyer to help them, these people have a chance to, A, get better and get fair compensation for what the heck they've gone through. They didn't ask for this, Jonathan. You know, your clients that are horribly hurt, they'd give all that money back just to be healthy. You know that's the case.